Hey there, my name's Susanna. I'm a full-time real estate investor, short-term rental host, and an Airbnb superhost ambassador. I've hosted over 3,000 stays before losing count. I think Airbnb sent me an email and told me. And so now I have no idea, but this has been going on for years. I've learned a ton along the way. I started compiling some resources that I've developed to help run my business, and I've begun sharing those with new hosts who work with me through Airbnb's ambassador program or that I coach through my website, staywithsanctuary.com. I wanted to create a quick video series with most frequently asked questions that I receive. So in working with hosts for the last year or two, I've learned that there's a lot of questions that everybody has. They're a little complex to answer, so I thought that video may be a better medium for addressing some of them. So the first one I'm going to talk about is pricing strategies. When it comes to pricing, let me say first and foremost, no matter how smart you are, no matter how many businesses you've run so far, when you open your first unit, if you decide to price it yourself, there is a learning curve there. It can be really difficult to learn how to price your unit well. When I started, I noticed that I was dealing with a lot of emotions: fear of it being vacant, fear of overcharging guests, fear of, all these things. So when you first start pricing, you have a lot of just mental blocks and emotions that you're using to make your decisions. And inevitably, you will lose money in that process. I highly recommend outsourcing pricing completely through a third-party app such as Price Labs or Wheelhouse. I can get into those more later. I think I'm going to do a separate video where I show you how to use Price Labs, which is what we currently use in new cities. Because there are so many emotions that play into pricing your first unit, you're scared of losing out, you're scared of overdoing it. It's really great to have another party that just makes the decisions for you so that you're not being impacted by your own fears and your own emotions in the pricing process. One thing I have noticed from working with new hosts is that as much as I coach, as much as I encourage on pricing, people tend to underprice certain dates when they first get started. That's where using a third-party app such as Price Labs can help you a ton, because it just takes it off of your plate and they're going to make sure that you're getting the best price possible. I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, I am not currently an affiliate of Price Labs or Wheelhouse. I may become one eventually because I do think they're so valuable, and I've become really pushing hosts to use those tools. But as of this moment, I'm just saying this freely. I'm saying what we do, what has been helpful, what we've seen increased revenue result from. And one of those things is dynamic pricing. So if after saying all of these things, you're not convinced and you feel like, no, I want to take a shot at it, I don't want to spend $12.99 a month on Price Labs or whatever the fee may be, and you want to go for pricing yourself, totally understand. Been there, done that. So let me give you the best tips that I possibly can. So if you want to use Airbnb's pricing tools, you have three options. Number one is smart pricing. When you toggle on the smart pricing button, you'll have the option to choose a maximum price and a minimum price. From there, Airbnb is going to dynamically shift that price based on what they see going on in the market. Your prices will adjust based on demand, but it may not optimize the host advantage. The second option is to set a default price. So you'll toggle off smart pricing and then you'll set your default price. So anytime your calendar is open, it is going to automatically price at whatever you select to be your default price. From there, you can go into the third option, which is to customize each date according to your needs, desires, predictions, that sort of thing. So you can go into the calendar and just manually select a price that's different for each night. Now within your customization tools, you can go in and do a custom weekend price so that all of your weekends will automatically be priced a specific way that you choose. So there are some options there. So you've got basically smart pricing, default pricing, or some custom pricing options that you can choose within Airbnb if you decide you want to manage your pricing yourself. So a lot of people ask, should you use Airbnb's smart pricing tool? Wouldn't recommend that. And the reason is Airbnb is motivated to give their guests the best deal possible. And that is great. As a traveler, I appreciate that. And that is their responsibility, first and foremost, to the guests. That's why if you do want to outsource your pricing, it's better to go third party rather than use the tools that Airbnb has there. I will say in the 5 years I've been doing it, Airbnb's tools have gotten a bit better and I've noticed they're raising their prices somewhat compared to what smart pricing used to be. But generally, if you're relying on smart pricing, you're going to be underpriced by quite a bit. I could throw out a percentage. I have my guesses of how underpriced I think you'll be, but it's just based on my gut and it's not really based on real data. So ultimately, I would not recommend using Airbnb's smart pricing tool. Okay, so you don't want to use a third-party app. You don't want to use Airbnb's smart pricing. You want to price it yourself. If that's the decision that you're deciding on, what I would recommend is that you go ahead and get on the Airbnb app, go to the traveler view of the app, and search your region. Be sure to pick flexible dates so that you can see all of the units that are available. If you pick specific dates when you're searching your region as a guest, a lot of units will already be booked, so you're not going to have a clear comp set. So it's better to do a flexible date so you can see just generally in my region what units are available, what is similar to me. So see what their prices look like. Take a look at their calendars. You can see how full they seem to be, what seems to be booked or not. This is not a foolproof system because oftentimes hosts will block out dates themselves that are not necessarily blocked out by guests. But generally, as you search as a traveler, you'll be able to see about what people are charging, and you can choose to put a base price in to your Airbnb settings that's very similar to what other hosts in your region are charging. So you at least know I'm not way out of line or way under pricing. You can get a general range if you want to just set it and forget it. Again, I don't recommend the set it and forget it style, but if that's how you learn, I totally understand. No matter what tool you're using for pricing, I highly recommend that you're constantly logging on, seeing what your vacancy is, seeing what your occupancy is, how can you improve. Once you have a ton more units, this is much easier. So at one point I was managing 20 units in the exact same region. So I could log in on my dashboard, I would see all of these units, all of the vacancy, occupancy, and easily be able to see these are the dates that matter. I can bump my price up by 20%. Or these dates, no one's booking them. Let me go ahead and discount them now so that I can book them in advance without worrying about shady guests coming in last minute. So if you do have a large portfolio, I will say you're at a pricing advantage because you just have a better view of your region. But if you're starting with one, you need some extra help. So part of the art of pricing, I will say once you publish that listing, you're gonna know right away if you're priced high or low based on how many bookings you get. So what happens sometimes is I'll have a new host who they publish their listing and then they say, oh, I'm so excited, I just got 10 bookings in an hour. Okay, whoa, you're underpriced. So a lot of times, like, you're gonna find out by the amount of bookings you get, how you are priced. So if immediately you've got all your weekends booked for the months to come, you're way too low. So you need to log back into that calendar, adjust your pricing, bump it up until those bookings slow down. Yes, it's so exciting to hear the ding on your Airbnb app and get 20 bookings right away, but that can be a surefire sign that you are giving that unit away and you need to raise those prices. So if you're working with me through the ambassador program, I can help you with that and help you kind of adjust that price to meet demand. You can absolutely do this. We all started with fears, we all started with unknowns, but you can do this. Come back to this channel. I'm gonna keep sharing resources with you guys to help you. Feel free to reach out to me. You can schedule a one-on-one call on my website. You can start your listing from my website and then I'll be your ambassador and help you as you get started. I think that's pretty much it. You could sign up for my newsletter. I don't know. Let's get together. Let's talk. Reach out to me. Follow us on Instagram. Stay with Sanctuary. And I look forward to seeing you guys back here in the future.